Hi, Chris Kuzmal here. I'm going to be practicing learning Python. I'm going to be using this book, which I haven't used before, so you can kind of view this as a review of the book because I've used other Python books before, but this year my plan is to use Python Programming in Context by Miller, Raynham, and Anderson, third edition. And the way that I generally study, and for that matter, encourage people to study as a teacher, is yeah, you can read the chapter, and if you have the patience to read the chapter, read the darn chapter. But I don't. I don't have that patience. I just go to the problems and I solve the problems. Solving the problems motivates me to then go and read the chapter as I might need to. In this sequence of videos, what we're going to do is we're going to take problems that are in the book and then we're going to translate them into equivalent problems. That's uh, makes it so that we providing some original content here beyond just reciting the book, um, and then show how to use test-driven development to implement those problems. So here's a problem. Problem 1.4, compute the number of inches in 1 mile. I'm not interested. Well, I don't want to compute the number of inches in 1 mile. I mean, I could, but I want an equivalent problem. Well, the purpose of this exercise is to compute a relatively large number, and it's going to be a precise number, a number that's in integers. So I'm going to do a similar thing. I'm going to compute the number of grams in a short ton. Okay. And I happen to know that and we're going to maybe use an approximation. There's 454 grams in a pound, and there's 2,000 pounds in a short ton. So that gives me all the arithmetic I need to solve the problem, but I want to create a test that verifies whether or not my code that solves this problem is correct, and then use that to drive the creation of the code that actually solves the problem. So first, let's get started in Python. I go to REPL, I click on Python, and no, not soulful creepy differences. That's a little bit soulfully creepy. That's a randomly generated name. This is just going to be uh, uh, grams in a ton. Okay, and we'll create the REPL. And in Python, and so in for Python in REPL, we have the set of files. The left bar in the middle, we have a file, a look into one of those files, which is by default main.py, and in the right we have our console. In our console, we could just say, no, grams in a pound is equal to 454. And we can say that pounds in a ton equals 2,000. Okay, and then we could compute that their product, grams in a pound times pounds in a ton. And that value actually gets that expression. So the grams in a pound is a variable. The star is a multiply operation. Pounds in a ton is another variable. Each of those variables have values. The variables get evaluated to their values. Those values then get further evaluated using the multiplication operator, and we get 908,000, which is a good approximation for the number of grams in a ton. And it's a relatively large number. And if we assume that there are exactly 454 grams in a pound, and honestly, I don't remember, we've got that. So this is lovely, but it's not really giving us, we don't really have a test case. What I always like to do is have something that verifies that this is right. And I honestly don't know how to do that for this. This is a little bit too straightforward. So later we'll have some test cases.